Welcome to Aunt Leanie's Kitchen. This is episode 30, and I am back. I'm out, I'm running the streets. This is July. I'm taking you back to July. But I ran the streets, but I didn't go to a ton of like restaurants where, like where I actually sat down and I just was running the streets. So that's okay though, because I did go places and I'm gonna take you with me, back in my time machine to July of 2025. And I started off with blue sushi sake. And that's in the Westwood, Kansas location of it. And I have reviewed it before because I was in the Power Light District. I did go there and I think I did review it a while back. But I went back there with some friends, but to the Westwood location, and y'all, it was hype. It was um it was like a leisurely Sunday, right? But it was happy hour all day. So I mean, there was so many people. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get a parking space because it was like it just people just sat and hung out. And again, you got to keep in mind the Chiefs weren't playing yet. So, I mean, it was just like no Chiefs were playing and people were just hanging out and people were just kind of kicking it for a long time. Like we were there for a couple of hours and then we wrapped up our party and we kind of left. But yeah, I mean it was like one of those things where and luckily we had a reservation because we had about I think 10 people. So we did do like the reservation. And so yeah, I mean it was good. It was a lot of fun. It was like a girls kind of I've got a couple of dining groups and one is the bougie ladies and then one is kind of more just like a ladies group like a general ladies group. So we do more than just go to lunches and dinners. We do other things besides that, but I mean, it was a lot of fun. So I kicked off the meal with an appetizer of calamari because I love my calamari. Okay. And so the appetizer was a really nice mix of squid, sweet potatoes, and asparagus. And that kind of threw me. And then they kind of had, it was kind of breaded, right? And like tempura, and it was so good. And it had a nice, light, crispy texture and it wraps really well around the ingredients. And sometimes when they do this, it doesn't work because they've used too much like breading. So then what you're just getting, it's like a film for me, it just feels like a flaky mess. And then maybe they're doing it because the ingredients aren't so fresh or whatever it is, or they're just not good at breading, but this was perfection. So then I ordered the tidal wave roll. Now this roll had shrimp and crab stick tempura, cream cheese, crab mix, honey, wasabi, and eel sauce. Every bite of these delicious rolls had a nice sweet and then a little bit of a savory flavor. So I definitely appreciated it. Like I'm glad my server was, because I was like, well, is this going to be enough food? He's like, oh no, it's going to be more than enough food. I'm so glad I listened to him and I wasn't like, oh no, I'm going to get some. Like, oh my gosh, I would have been like unable to move. As I said, this place is a vibe. So it's nice for a happy hour, a date night, an outing with family and friends. Just make sure that if you've got more than five, as I always say, like you have to make reservations and you can't have it where you're waiting for everyone and they're running late. It's like they need to have you need to have so many people to seat the party, I believe. And you should just do that anyway, just out of good manners. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. If you got the people, the straggler people, and again, sometimes we've had to straggle because of, circumstance. You still want to hang out, but you always have to understand that, like, if you're a straggler on a busy, time, then you might not, it might take you a while to get seated. You might have to maybe skip out, go to the next thing just because, like, some of these restaurants are getting, it's like super packed. Like, people are just doing these group events. Okay, so enough. I'm getting off my soapbox to take you to the Kearney, Missouri Community Market. Okay, that's where I was at for the first time. And I went to, because I was on my way to the Jesse James Museum, which I talk about in my other podcast, Quaint and Cozy KC. And I was like, you know what? I want to support Joelle's Baked with Love. She used to be a brick and mortar in the Northland. And so I definitely, and I've met her, before. And I was like, yeah, I want to support her because now she's kind of, doing it. She's not doing it like at a brick and mortar. She's kind of like doing on her own. And so I wanted to support her because she's got some great desserts. So I tried the blueberry lemon pound cake and it was gorgeous. I mean, it was a really nice looking cake. It was very savory. Not, well, I mean, it's sweet, but it had kind of like that loaf kind of thing going on, and like a little mini loaf pan. And it really reminded me of summer evenings where you're kind of eating this. Like, okay, the perfect iteration of this is you put it in the refrigerator and it's cold and it's like kind of like you're doing that thing where you're kind of, and again, I don't always say eat late at night, but sometimes in summertime, it's like a Saturday night or a Friday night or whatever it is, and you're out there eating, you're kind of eating on it. Y'all got forks and maybe, you got plates and you kind of like cut it and put it on there, or you're just eating out of the same tin. I don't know. I'm not judging anybody, but it's nice and cold, that lemon kind of pound cake, and it's cold and it's got that glaze on it, and you're just eating it. It's so good. And putting that extra chill on it, to me, I mean, I really think it adds something to it. It really helps. I mean, you could eat this cake at room temperature, it'd be really good, but just something with the lemon and the fruit, serving it cold. Oh my gosh, top tier. Definitely top tier. And she goes all around. Like she's at the Kearney Community Market she on Saturdays, and then she also goes to the Smithville one as well on Wednesday nights. And she's just running, she's everywhere. Joelle's Baked with Love is everywhere. You can follow her on Facebook. That'll kind of let you know where she's going to be at. And she sells out. So don't, it's one of those things where you're like, oh no, no, she sells out. Like once people start hitting her up, I mean, it's over. So I was really lucky that because I got there early, I was like, yes, I'm going to get the pick of what I want before she sells out. Okay, now I'm going to take you, and this is very, very, very recent. I'm like, look at me. Um, I'm going to take you to Tailleur, and whoo, now this place. I had my eye on it, and there's like a cute little, there's like a cocktail bar and everything that is attached to it. But we went upstairs. We didn't go to the cocktail bar that's there. We went to our reservation was for the upstairs restaurant. Now Cheval is the cocktail lounge, and that is across the street from Tailleur. So just FYI, like that's kind of just so you're kind of like aware of where like just kind of giving you an idea of what's going on. So we did not do that. We didn't like run across the street or anything like that. And so, which again, that's fine. But for some reason, I thought it was actually inside of because they have the nice little bar area, but it's actually across the street. Okay, that is fine. Tailleur has a really nice old world charm. That's the best way. I felt like I was in somebody's like European grandmother or European auntie's house with all the like the really nice, tasteful kind of decorations, and it's very cozy and homey, and the kind of place where you would get like a nice thing of soup and like some bread and some tea and just that kind of, really cozy place, and it had great lighting, and it was super busy in there. So just FYI, if you go, we had a reservation, so you want to make sure you do that. And yeah, I mean, I had so much fun, and we kind of lost track of time, and I was like, oh my gosh, these they're closing. We gotta kind of skedaddle on out of here. But there's just a lot of people just kind of like, still talking, still with the vibes, and it was Saturday night, and so we slowly kind of made our way out there, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, so let's talk about the food though, because my first time dining here. I had my eye on the smoked salmon dip, and that's a caper marmalade, salt and vinegar chips kind of so the marmalade is kind of like the sauce, and then the salt and vinegar chips, that's what I kind of used to dip. So I was skeptical. Now I thought the salmon dip sounded good. Now that I wasn't skeptical about, but I was like, oh wait, salt and vinegar chips, and I didn't realize that the chips were big. It's a pic. I have a picture on my blog, the Aunt Lanie's Kitchen blog, and it should be coming up because I think I scheduled this. I'm trying to see like when I actually scheduled this blog to come out, but it's coming. If it's not out, it's coming out soon. Okay. I thought it was going to be like thin, those small salt vinegar chips, which are good in their own right, but they don't stand up to like real dip. But no, these were like specially made for that dip, and it was so good. And the vinegar chips complemented that flavor dip. And the capers gave it a nice briny taste to the rest of the ingredients. And I think that, and I always on when I'm going out and stuff and I have like something, I do a shareable. I generally do like a shareable, unless people are like, oh no, we're good. We just don't want, but usually people are like, oh yeah. And so we might do a couple shareables at the table. But this is a great shareable because I don't think I could have eaten this all by myself. I think I was gonna need some help. And so I mean, but it was all gone. That dip was all gone for the most part. Um, so it really worked well, I think. So next, I opted for the bistro salad, and that's herbs and shallot, like herbs and a shallot and cucumber, radish, and a bistro vinaigrette, and kind of a grilled terrace major, which is kind of a cut of beef, and it was really tender and flavorful. That beef was tender and flavorful, and it complemented the salad's ingredients. And I really appreciate how they plated the dish. So instead of mixing everything into the salad, and again, that would have been fine. It still would have been delicious. I liked how they served it on the side, like they served it the lettuce, the salad, and the meat side by side, because then I could kind of switch back. I might eat a couple of things of the salad, then I would go and start, cutting on the meat. I didn't, or it gave me the option if I did want to mix it up to do that. So I really kind of appreciated that. And the salad was like the lettuce was really crisp and the vegetables. Everything tasted really fresh, which I appreciated. And as I said, the meat was very tender and flavorful. It was very delicious. Now, I don't always do dessert, okay? I always look at the dessert menu and I always think if it's something I can make at my house, I just avoid it, right? Well, I am not able to make a butterscotch pot de creme, okay? De creme. I'm not able to make that at my house. I'm at this time. I might learn one day, but I'm not doing it now. So that is like a salted creamy caramel, flaked sea salt, and whipped cream. And it's that butterscotch taste, which was so good. Oh my gosh. And it had a really nice, smooth, and decadent texture. And it's the kind of dessert that you're supposed to like savor slowly. You're not supposed to shove it into your mouth like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like you have to, slowly, it's kind of a slow burn. It's a slow burn kind of dessert because every bite it was just more and more rich, but without being overwhelming. Like it was amazing. And the butterscotch is the predominant flavor of the dessert. So if you're not into butterscotch, you do not get this dessert. But if you like butterscotch, even just teensy, you will love this. And I did notice the salted caramel and the flake sea salt, and I thought it did give it a nice kind of like kick. So this is definitely a place that I would go to for a date night or an elevated outing with friends and family. Okay, definitely something like that. We were, there's a lot of people, there's some people out on their dates and other people in groups like we were. Like, again, I like the kind of I liked the atmosphere of Tailleur. It's very kind of it's like old world, laid back elegance, which I appreciate. Not pretentious, just kind of, just presenting you like this elegant, laid back vibe, which I can always appreciate. Now, oh my gosh, July. I just sailed through July, but don't fear because I've got more stuff to talk about. Let's talk about some of these recipes in progress that I have going on right now. And it's still summer, so I'll keep with the theme of summer. I'm not gonna, start going into, too much, but I think I've discussed this segment before. But I want to do it just in case because we're gonna let's just get a little review. So for me, a recipe in progress, it's something I've made several times, but I haven't taken the time to write it down formally. And over the past couple months, I've become more diligent about writing down exact measurements and cooking times, but I admit I do have a ways to go before all my recipes are written down. Like I'm just kind of I'm spitballing a lot of stuff because again, I know how to make it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, when you know how to do something and you've been doing it for so long, you do forget to write it down. But I think it's so important that we write things down because again, this is like, the recipes tell a story of you, but of your family, of traditions, and do those notes. And again, maybe if you're a blogger and your readers don't want to see those notes, but your family and friends, they might want to see those notes. So just in the sense of like, hey, so because it's a part of you. So I will start off with my fruit medley topped with whipped cream. Now this is a very simple um, kind of uh kind of recipe, right? I slice two fresh strawberries. I place them on top of a small handful of blueberries. Now everything is washed, just FYI. Then I splash two teaspoons of lemon juice over the berries, and then I top it with whipped cream. And it's a very simple dessert. I mean, you can get it done within a few minutes. And then you can serve this on a small saucer. I've done that before, or you can put it in like a little miniature ramekin. And it kind of and on the website I have it both plain without whipped cream because some people are, they can't do the dairy and that's totally fine or they don't want to. You can kind of do it plain or with the whipped cream. It's good either way. Okay. It's good to just make sure you're washing, your fruit. That's very important. You don't want to get anybody sick. You don't want to get yourself sick because you're not properly, washing your fruits and vegetables. Okay. Next, let's talk about homemade popsicles. Okay. So I love my homemade. So I got this popsicle during the pandemic, and I was gonna make wine sickles. Like that was my big thing. I think we were all kind of, drinking and whatever, and everything was a lot like alcohol related, but I'm not even that big of a drinker, but I'm like, these look so cool. Then I realized I'm like, I don't have to drink. Like, I don't have to, I can do this without drinking. So I washed up a cup of blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries. I sliced them all up. Then I placed them in a nonstick pan. And then I kind of turned it into like a compote situation with 2 teaspoons of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of lemon juice. I cooked the berries down into a compote. As I said, I removed the compote from the pan and placed it into a glass bowl. I let it cool for about 10, 15 minutes. And once it cooled, I placed it into a like a blender, but not like a small, like a drinks blender, not like a big blender, but like one of the smaller drinks blender. Now you've got to like measure that out because the smaller ones, it will like foam up. There's not like a thing where it's like, oh, it's no, it will foam up. So, make sure that you're not putting too much of the ingredients in. So you kind of have to like measure it and kind of try. So I used a half cup of flavored raspberry water and then a quarter cup of sparkling lemonade and a teaspoon of lemon juice to the blender. So again, measure it because you know the size of your blender. I have a blender that I just have for drinks and not any savory sauces. It's just literally for drinks. And so I kind of was like, measuring that out. And I put it on a low speed and it's just for a couple minutes. We're not doing anything, for where you have to keep going. So then I poured the ingredients into the popsicle molds and I placed them in the freezer. And then the following day, they were frozen. And they have like a really nice sweet flavor with a slight hint of an aftertaste. Now, here's the thing. I am, and I did them like maybe, I don't know, like a month ago. So I have a few. I'm gonna eat them in August, so they'll be gone. Like I'm gonna eat one probably tomorrow. And so, so they're gone. So because they don't last forever. Like they don't stay good forever. I learned that during the first kind of pandemic thing. They don't stay good forever. So, worst case scenario, I have to melt them down and then, blend them again and put them like in a drink. Okay. Like do like something and blend it into like some kind of sparkling drink or something like that. That's totally fine. I might have to turn it into a drink. If I feel like I can't get to it, it'll probably end up being a drink of some time and some kind, I mean. And again, that is totally fine. No judgment here. We don't judge here at the Aunt Lanie's kitchen. I mean, I will side eye you if you're not seasoning your food, but um, I guess as long as I don't have to eat it, then I'll just mind my business on that. Okay, and for my final, let's see, let's find a really good one. For my final recipe like my recipe in progress, like I'm looking through here, my next recipe in progress. And let's see, I feel like I have more than what I read to you. Let's see here. Okay, yes. Okay, I do. So let's keep this in the vein of we're just gonna do desserts. Okay. Let's talk about a lemonberry bundt cake. Okay, so basically, what I do for the lemonberry bundt cake is I use a lemon cake mix. Now, you can make the cake from scratch. I am not going to judge you however you do it, but I just kind of prefer to just use the mix. That's where I'm at. In the pandemic, I did a lot of from scratch cooking that I'm not doing right now. So again, so you've got that, and you need to have for the bundt cake. Now you can do this with any mold that you have, but if you want the little mini bundt cake, I went and I feel like I got these online and these little mini bundt cakes. Now they're not the mini bundt cakes, but they're like individual bundt cakes, like but the smaller ones. And so I put them in the bundt cake pan, the mini one, and I put like, and once it was done and it cooled and everything, I topped it with Lemonberry, like, I think I used a compote and mixed the berries together. I think I had some blackberries. So I, did it with the lemon juice and cooked everything down and some sugar and all that. And then I used the blender after, let it cool, use the blender. And then I used that as a topping on top of it. And it was so good. It was really good. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to make myself slow down because I was inhaling that cake. I was like, whoa, what is going on, Aunt Lainey? You need to get it together. But yeah, I mean, that lemonberry bundt cake, it was really good. And one of the things with you have to let the cake cool and then you kind of flip it out. And that's to me, that's what and you want to make sure that you've got, I use a spray. I use like that foam spray. Just because, especially with bundt cakes, because they will that sometimes you can overcook those. And again, it still tastes good, but it's hard for it to keep its shape. And when that happens, what you can do is you can still eat that cake. You just make it more of a crumble. I would take the compote and, crumble that cake and put the compote on top of it. Something like that. I might heat up that cake and then put the cold compote on top of it, so I get like a cold yet a savory kind of dessert situation. So again, that's all I have for this week. We went to the restaurants, and then we went back into the kitchen. And as I said in episode 29, my last episode that I did, um, I am going to be doing more videos. I'm really putting myself out there more with videos, and I want to expand. Because I'm in the kitchen and I am, but I'm also, doing the restaurant thing. I'm going to keep doing both, but you are going to see more of a mix of both those things. Just give me some time here to kind of like work everything out. But I'm having so much fun doing the lives. I do them on my personal Facebook, and then I upload them to, YouTube and to TikTok. And I might start doing more stuff on Instagram, more that I just have to see. Like, I will probably have to do some shorter form videos. I'm also looking at how to do some shorter form videos as well. And again, the great thing about doing this and really pursuing this and having fun is that I'm doing what I really love to do, which is talk about food and about cooking in restaurants and all that stuff, and meeting and talking to people about the things that they're doing in the food world. So again, to me, it's always a win. You can find more about me. Like I said, I'm on Facebook, Aunt Lainie's Kitchen. I'm on Instagram, Aunt Lainie's Kitchen KC. The Tickety Talkety. I'm on that under Aunt Lainie's Kitchen and YouTube. And as I've stated, my YouTube channel is really in progress. So it's like I just moved in. I feel like that is like, I'm doing some renovations. So please mind the boxes. I still have content on there, but it's going to be like I'll be formatting it more, but I just wanted to get it up there because otherwise I would just wait until the perfect time. And you know what? There's never a right time for a lot of things in life, right? Okay. On that note, I will talk to you later. Be safe and have fun. And also, one more thing, you can also find me on AuntLane'sKitchen.com. I'm not sure if I said that, but I said it now. Okay. Take care, everyone.